FriendZone. How? Why? Where did it come from? And where did it go? We've asked all these questions, and we will answer them all today as we look back on the show that stole the hearts of billions of people around the world and affected foreign policy for centuries to come. Today we take a look at FriendZone, Behind the Zone.
Genius, groundbreaking, fun, outrageous, absurd. I don't get it. People have said all kinds of things about FriendZone.
We had no idea the effect it would have on people. We were just goofing around.
Now, I'm not saying that we invented playing board games and video games with your friends, but did people do that before FriendZone? I don't know.
Though much of FriendZone's origins are still a subject for debate, one thing is certain. It all began with a colonist named Hiram Frenzoni.
So it's the 1700s, colonists in the New World were struggling to survive through harsh winters, and then all of a sudden you have this guy who just decides he's gonna have fun. It was always fun in games with Hiram.
No one took him seriously, but soon the other colonists started to think, you know, maybe this guy's onto something.
Colonists were starved, plagued with illness, but Frenzoni knew the healing power of friendly competition. Frenzoni invented early games that reenactors still teach today.
Frenzoni is a hero. I mean, when everyone else cared too much, he taught us that we didn't have to. We could just play games with our friends while hunting or farming. And, you know, every time I put on that bloody bear kigurumi, I'm reminded of the bear skin that Frenzoni wore to bring together the colonists and the indigenous tribes of the very first episode of FriendZone.
Frenzoni's games were way ahead of their time at that first episode of FriendZone. The colonists, the indigenous people, no one understood Frenzoni's games. The confusion really brought people together in a way that had never been done before.
When we decided to start recording episodes of FriendZone, we knew we were bringing back an important but sadly unknown part of American history. We had the time of our lives, just, you know, good friends playing games. We were doing something important, and the world tuned in.
But unfortunately, problems soon arose on the set. A congressional hearing and a gaming witch hunt ensued, and the gang at FriendZone would never be the same. Join us next time when Behind the Zone takes you through dark days ahead. And now our continuing story and the epic conclusion of FriendZone, Behind the Zone. FriendZone was at the height of popularity. A history of bringing people together had continued, and the world tuned in to soak it all in. But the good times would not last.
The warning signs had always been there, but as long as the show had weekly viewers, we didn't care. But soon it became obvious that Dodger's vices would soon catch up with us.
I developed a bit of a cheese problem.
Dodger had discovered the finer cheeses. Pretty soon she was yelling at our interns for not inventing aged gorgonzola cheese curls fast enough for her to eat them. It was clear we had a problem, but it was nothing compared to what happened next.
Ladies and gentlemen, I implore you, look at this face. Does this look like the face of a well-adjusted young lady to you?
Some parent groups and teachers were claiming that we poisoned the nation's youth. I mean, poor Gabby, she was paraded around Washington for everyone to see.
Fortunately, our program was able to catch up with Gabby years after the scandal that swept the nation. Gabby, what can you tell us about those final days at FriendZone? But despite Gabby's silence, the damage was done. After the show ended, Dodger fell in with a bad crowd, and the show had to move on without its beloved hosts.
Sure, it's a shame about Dodger, but she's moved on to bigger and better things. Plus, workplace injuries are way down. She loved that old gag, you know, pulling someone's chair out as soon as they were about to sit down. We had to dedicate an entire office to a tailbone recovery ward. But now we've been able to put in a ping pong table. Still, things can get pretty quiet sometimes.
I would love to do FriendZone again, but after the show I was appointed governor of the Mars colony by that senator who accused us of poisoning our viewers. Still though, I mean, Mars! It's surprisingly a lot like the FriendZone set. I was sent ahead of the expedition to set up the colony's infrastructure. I guess it's my job to figure out what that means. They told me that the other colonists will arrive as soon as it's safe, but we are gonna have so much fun.
You